Kia ora and welcome to this episode on planting peas for Christmas. I prefer to use the Green Feast variety of peas, mainly because they're a dwarf variety. They don't require any staking as such, and they'll just grow up on top of each other and hold each other up, and they produce well, and they should produce up to and around Christmas. So yeah, so it's pretty easy to plant peas. Prepared this bed here, new compost and all the rest of it, and I'll put a couple of lines in with this rake. It's pretty simple, and then I'll put these peas in. The general rule of thumb with peas is, or well, any seed is, it needs to go down at least twice the depth of the size of the seed. So with peas, what's that, 2 centimeters, something like that. I've soaked these overnight in GANS plasma to give an extra boost to their growth, so they're a bit bigger than the dried peas, but they will need to go go down about twice this depth here of the size of the pea into the ground, and then I'll cover them up and then give them a water. In this particular case, I will be putting 2 rows in this bed here, and they will then hold each other up as a dwarf variety. Now you can do it 2 ways in terms of creating a row before you sow the peas. You can do it with this end here of the rake, or any old instrument really, or this end here, and as you can see, normally the handle end is easy because seeds normally aren't as big as peas, whereas with the peas we probably need to have the extra depth you get with these ones here. So yeah, there we go, that'll give us about the depth we need, and then we'll put the peas into there. So, and normally how many centimeters apart would they be? 5 centimeters or so, not quite like that. So yeah, sometimes they can be put closer together because sometimes they don't always all of them sprout, so to have, it doesn't hurt to have them a bit closer to each other, but in this particular instance it should be fine. And here we are at the end after I've planted the seeds into the rows in the ground, and this is basically what it looks like. Me doing my attempt at a flyover with a drone that's not a drone, that's me holding on to it. So there we go, and I will cover those over the soil with my hands, and then I'll give them the water with the hose, and that's that, and that's enough. Here we go. I see some of them are still, even though they're rather deep rows, some of them still end up too close to the surface. I just have to make sure that they're well covered so that the birds can't see them, because birds love peas to eat. And I think we've got a couple there sticking up. Make a hole, put them in. There we go. And of course at this time of the year you have to be careful to make sure they're watered regularly until they germinate and they establish their roots and get down a wee bit. So, you know, I'll water them now and then, depending on the weather, every 3 or 4 days, just to make certain in the germination phase they don't dry up on the surface or anything like that. Otherwise, looking forward to some Christmas peas, fresh peas, yum yum, straight from the garden. Nothing tastes better. Ka pai, get into it.